Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we will be reviewing another 2 YASH books. In this video, it is Jaded by K.M. Robinson and Pandemic by Yvonne Ventresca. I think I said her last name right. I hope I did. So, yeah. The first book is Jaded, which follows Jade in a universe filled with dictatorship and a commander whose son is Jade's future husband. The only thing is, the commander is Jade's dad's enemy. Yeah. And the only reason Jade is marrying his son is so that they can kill her. But Jade won't let that happen. Jade has a duty to protect her country, and the only thing she has to do is kill the commander's son before he kills her. Okidoki. So, this book isn't great. And it's a little weird because I actually read it, I was given a PDF version of it, so that's how I read it. So, it was kind of hard to focus on because my Kindle didn't really adapt to it that well, and I didn't really know how long it actually was. But, I usually read a book in about a day. Usually, if I read it nonstop and I have nothing else to do that day, that's what I end up doing. It's just reading it in that whole day because I have the time. Jade is a very strong and heroic character, and she's willing to risk anything to protect her loved ones, protect the people that she loves, but she would also risk her own life so that her father is saved. And I think she's a really interesting character, but I don't think her story was given much structure. I don't think she was given what she deserved in terms of the way the story was written. I feel like it was a little flat. Nothing really happens it happens in an odd order. I feel like I don't really connect as much to the other characters, but Jade, and it's like her whole goal is to either convince the commander's son to not kill her or kill him first herself. And surprise, surprise, can you guess? I'll give you a minute. They fall in love. Did you realize that might happen? Just maybe. And to me, it kind of is like y'all didn't really fall in love. You don't really know each other. You don't know who you really are. You're just kind of stuck in a house together and you think that's love. No, it's not. You were just put in a room together and you don't even know each other's true selves. Like, you're both lying to each other. You're not in love. I'm sorry, but you're not. And I think it's also weird how, like, a quarter of the way through the book, a new character's introduced. And it's supposed to be as if this guy has been watching her whole life and taking care of her whole life. And I think that it could have been that, like, it could have been written as if he has, like, oh, there's a weird guy watching us. You know, like, it could have been foreshadowed a bit more so that you were like, oh, who's that guy? And then you find out who that guy is. But really, it's just like, here's this guy. He's apparently been here this whole time, but we didn't know. And I find that a little weird. Spoiler warning right here. I'm gonna spoil the end of the book. But, I just feel like the end of the book was kind of just thrown together and it wasn't that good. It's like, OMG, he was murdered and took the poison, so she wouldn't be murdered. But, oh, no, he'll be fine. It's okay. No, he's fine. It's okay. Who knew? Quick, kill the commander. Let's not kill the commander. Like, we'll just blackmail him. Yeah, let's just overthrow him and blackmail him. Well, that's not really working. So why don't we just make him the villain for the next few books? Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. No. Just, like when I found out that I thought the commander's son was gonna die in place of Jade, I was like, yes, this is a great way to finish this book. It's perfect. And then he, like, is fine. And he's a perfect recovery, and then they're like, okay, we'll kill the commander, because they have the chance, and she's still wearing the poison comb. Let's not do that, let's just blackmail him instead. And then Jade's like, okay, cool, we're gonna be, like, ruling the country, and it's not gonna be a dictatorship anymore, we're gonna be thriving. And then he, like, goes up to Jade in the last chapter, and he's like, hey, just kidding, you thought I was out of your life, but I ain't, I'm still the villain for the next book. No. Just kill him off and get a new villain. People who are in dictatorships and are overthrowing like, governments always have new villains, guys. People in real life are always out to get governments. You can find a new villain, I promise. You don't need the same guy. It was just so disappointing. It just wasn't great. So, I think I give this book a 2 out of 5. I kind of enjoyed it, but I don't think any of the characters had a good arc. Like, they all seemed very one-toned. They, like, I'm like, yes, the commander's son changes by the end, but he doesn't, like, it doesn't show what got him there. Like, it's like, yes, you met this amazing girl, but why are you doing it? You know, like, don't base your decisions basically about your life because of a girl. It just felt very one-toned, and I wish their arc was a bit better. Yeah. Okay. To the next book. Pandemic. Okay. So this book was a bit odd to read right now because, you know, we're in a pandemic. But yeah, it follows Liliana, a young girl in high school dealing with the trauma and fear of being stuck in her house in an apocalyptic situation. She is a prepper, preparing for the time when she will be alone in the house and left to her own devices. Unfortunately, this happens when a sickness breaks out when her parents go out of town. She is left alone and fears that she will get this virus and die like many others in her town. Not only is this what is happening in her life, but her traumatic incident is finding a way to come back into her life. Since this incident occurred, everything in her life has changed, but her ex-boyfriend, Eric, wanting to get back together, and a new guy, Jay, also moves in? Huh. Now Lil has to deal with a love triangle, being in a pandemic, and trauma coming after her? Whoa. Seems like a little too many plot points to me. So, I liked this book. I think it was written well. I enjoyed the characters. I think Liliana was great. Mostly goes by Lil in the book. In a way, this book was very good for me to read right now because it made me feel a bit better about our situation. Like, it could be so much worse. Like, in this book, they would feel fine, get a fever, pass out, go to the hospital, die the next day. And, like, now we have, like, 2 weeks of recovery time, and, like, you may not know if you have it within 2 weeks, and, like, there are many recoveries. So I think, in a way, this book gave me a sense of, like, less anxiety. It helps me feel a bit more lucky in our situation than, because it could be so much worse. Because also in the book often happens that there are looters and her house is getting robbed and she feels so unsafe in her own house, and like, we're just all at home feeling fine, you know. Like, people think it's so bad right now in our situation, but it could be so much worse. So yeah, in a way, it kind of made me feel a bit better. Yeah. But now back to the book and how it's written. You know, the important stuff, I guess. But I think overall I would give this book 3 out of 5 stars. It is written well, and Lil is an amazing character to follow, because she has her own thoughts and her own trauma, and my cat wants in. You're so cute. Okay, Liliana is a great character to follow. She's really interesting. She also deals with real life traumas, and I think she is written very well. But I think there are way too many ideas going into one book. So I'm just going to say a content warning right now. This book does deal with some issues that may be triggering to some viewers, such as sexual assault. So please skip to this time slot if you do not want to hear any triggering things such as that. Okay, so Lil is suffering from trauma of being sexually assaulted by her teacher, and he also keeps showing up to her house during the pandemic. And you know, that sucks. It's not great. And her best friend didn't believe her, so she lost a best friend, and she thought that she was ruining the teacher's life instead of her life being ruined herself. So I think why this book doesn't work so well with a subject like that is because it's also a book about a pandemic, and there's also a love triangle. And I think the way that it works is like the love triangle happened in the first part of the book, and then, well, I don't really know if that, it's as if the love triangle just keeps bugging her, but she doesn't really care by the end. And I don't think the love triangle is necessary at all, so I would not include it in either version of the book, if at all. But like, I think there are two separate books here. I think you could write a book about her sexual assault, or you could write a book about her dealing with the pandemic. I do not think they should go together. And I think the thing is that like Lil and Jay are romantic interests, and they could connect in the pandemic book by just being the only two teens left on their street, or they could connect in the sexual assault book because Lil and Jay both are dealing with secrets. I don't think they needed to all be together into one book. In a way, my mom says that, well, I guess in a pandemic life goes on, but this is a book. It's not real life, and I think it could have, I just think it's too many ideas all going into one. And I think it just could have been better. Like, I do hate love triangles, and I don't think it was needed for the pandemic book at all. And now I'm saying as if they're two separate books, there aren't, but I think there could be. You know, I think it didn't need to be all one book, because in the beginning it's like her trauma is so hard on her, and then suddenly it's just all about the pandemic. But he keeps showing up to her house, and I just think you could have done one or the other. I don't think they needed to be combined. And I don't think she should worry about boys right now when her life is hitting the fan and her parents are at home and she's worried about their safety. Or even if it was a different book and it was just about her trauma, then I think it could have just, I don't think she needed to worry about boys in a situation like that, you know? Like, women are so much stronger than that. They don't need love in their life when, especially teenagers, like, especially when there's so much trauma going on for them right now. Like, I just don't think it needed to be so many topics in one. But it was still a good, enjoyable book to read, so I think that's why I give it the 4 out of 5. So yeah, I just think it could have been better. Yeah. Could have been better. So that's it for this video. Please let me know in the comments if you plan on reading either of these books. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to see what's up next. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to chat with you soon. Bye!